They put a lot of time and money and effort into Xander ZAYAS because they're trying to create the next Puerto Rican superstar. And they don't want to just throw him to the wolves already, because that's one thing I tell young fighters. Once you take that step, there's no going back. It is a very, very steep hill. Once you go over that hump, and now you're stepping into the upper echelon guys, that world-class level, it's up, 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 up.
Welcome, everyone, to Boxing Scene's Top Stories, only on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I am George DeMatteis. Don't forget to download the app for the full ProBox TV experience. And part of that experience is listening and getting knowledge from the champions. We got Chris Algieri and we got Paulie Malignaggi joining us here on Top Stories. All right, undefeated super welterweight contender Xander ZAYAS is set to face Damian Sosa in September in New York. ZAYAS coming off a unanimous decision victory over Patrick Teixeira in June. However, in order for ZAYAS to land a big fight at 154, a stacked division, he knows he'll have to step up his level of competition. All right, Paulie, what kind of fights does that prospect need, and how does he get to that upper echelon of fighters like Crawford, Spence, Fundora, Boychuk, and Madrimov and those likes?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, he's ready for them to start entering that phase. And honestly, the weight class is so exciting that Xander ZAYAS would be another exciting name to add to that powerful mix of fighters at 154 pounds. The only problem is, and Top Rank is a terrific promoter as far as, moving fighters and so on and so forth. But if there's promotional alliance, the sport is fractured in that way, and there's the promotional alliances. And if the main stable of fighters in your weight class are not with the team you're with, your team you could possibly be with a great team, but it'll be difficult to acquire the proper opponents. And it seems like when it comes to stepping into world-class level at a junior middleweight, I'm not sure Top Rank has any of those guys, right? I mean, you think of your Tim Tszus, your Fundoras, your Boachuks. Obviously, Crawford just left Top Rank. You think of, Madrimov. There's so many guys at this weight class that you could really name that they're really, really top fighters, and they're not such big superstars like Crawford, with the exception of Crawford. So ZAYAS could potentially step in with any of them right now, and you could start having that step-up fight where it's like, okay, is he ready for these world-class level fighters? He's ready for that fight, but I don't know that it's easy to make those matchups because of the promotional fracturing and alliances in this sport. It's so frustrating, man. It is so frustrating. And so I'm sure it's frustrating for ZAYAS too, and he wants his team to get him those fights. But it's just it's the way the business model is molded in the sport of boxing. Sometimes these things will end up happening, and it's tough, man. I don't even know what to tell him, really. Unless Top Rank can somehow make some sort of deal with some of these promoters, he's not going to be able to get that fight, because I don't know if any of those fighters are with his stable.
Yeah, Champ, I mean, and we do live in a world where we're getting these cross-promotional fight opportunities. I mean, even speaking about Top Rank, they had Santillan go over to fight a Golden Boy guy in Rocha, and he went out there and won and knocked the guy out. So it is possible to see cross-promotion, but also I think this is partly part of the kind of the Top Rank modus operandi, how they build their prospects. They put a lot of time and money and effort into Xander ZAYAS because they're trying to create the next Puerto Rican superstar. And they don't want to just throw him to the wolves already, because that's one thing I tell young fighters. Once you take that step, there's no going back. It is a very, very steep hill. Once you go over that hump, and now you're stepping into the upper echelon guys, that world-class level, it's up, 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 up. And you don't want to go down at all. You don't want to take a loss. You don't want to go down. But once you get to that level, it's a steep slope, and especially at 154 where there's so many named guys. And I understand he wants those guys. I understand he believes he's ready for those guys. Maybe Top Rank isn't thinking he's ready for them, or maybe they're thinking, let's kind of milk this a little bit longer. Let's get him to that superstar status like we've been planning. So yeah, there's probably a lot of things that are standing in the way of where Xander ZAYAS believes he should be right now. But I will say this. I mean, I actually called his last fight, a recent signing by Top Rank, is Vito Melanicki. He's the guy who actually called Xander out in the ring in his last fight. So I'll fight that guy. And that becomes that prospect versus prospect matchup where, or really, I mean, Xander's a contender at this point. But you got that fight where you have these two young guys who have good records, who are looking to make that next step. And one wins is going to go up, and one's going to take that stumble where they're going to have to restart. So that's a fight they could probably make pretty quick. But in terms of all those other fights, I'm not sure Top Rank is ready to go over that hill just yet with their potential budding Puerto Rican star.
Yeah, by the way, ZAYAS told Boxing Scene, so I know I'm going to take a lot more than just beating Damian Sosa. I got to fight some other guys to make that happen. But yes, I feel like I'm ready. ZAYAS ranked in the top 10 by 3 of the 4 boxing governing bodies. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with his career, and we will document it and talk about it here on Top Stories. And don't forget to scan the QR code and download the app to get that full ProBox TV experience. What a great week of fights coming up. We'll have with Wednesday night fights on September 11th, leading up to the Canelo Berlanga fight on September 14th. We'll have it all for you here on Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
Wednesday night fights. Coming up on your next Wednesday night fights, September 11th, Lester Martinez takes on Joshawn Showtime James.
He's the pride of Guadalajara, Canelo Alvarez. His challenger, the undefeated Edgar Berlanga.
Canelo versus Berlanga, Saturday, September 14th, live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.